Pain, pain is crippling, and it will stop you dead in your tracks if you do not learn how to manage it. If you do not learn how to deal, cope with, and get through your pain. If you do not learn how to analyze, evaluate, and tackle those things that trigger pain in you, if you do not learn how to sedate your pain, pain will cripple you. It will stop everything, everything. And everything that you have worked for thus far will start falling apart. Pain is a very, very, very tragic thing because what happens is it consumes you if you allow it to. And what happens with consumption is nothing else matters but that thing that consumes you. You do not have time. We do not have time to live and dwell and stay in states and situations of pain. We have to find out how to get out of those situations, how to get out of that pain, how to allow that feeling, that emotion to leave, to exit our body, mind, and soul. Because if we keep it, if we hold on to it, if we allow it to hold on to us, it can and will devour you. A lot of things that we've dealt with in the past bring us great, great pain. Great pain. And a lot of times we have things that trigger those pains. It could be something small. I've had triggers of something I've smelt, of food, something as small as a piece of food that reminds me of something that happened when I was eating the exact same food. Yes, something that you hear, a sound, a name, something, a phrase, something that someone says. It can all remind you of places and situations and states of pain that you, me, we've all been in at some point in time. We have to learn how to deal with those things. We have to learn how to identify those things, those triggers. We have to learn how to get within ourselves to see why we feel this way, why we do this, why we do that. We really have to open up ourselves and analyze ourselves and the pain that we feel. And it's better to do it when you're in that state of pain versus outside of it. Because when you're not experiencing it, you can't really identify with it as well as you can if you're sitting in it at that moment in time. And once you're able to identify with it, why do I feel this way? Why did this make me angry? How can I help myself to not be angry anymore about this situation? How can I relieve myself of the burden of this situation? Have I forgiven myself? Have I forgiven the person who wronged me? Is the wrong that that person did to me embedded so deeply in me? Has it scarred me so deeply that it's hard to let it go? And when I let it go, does that mean that it won't still affect me or have some kind of effect on my life and what I do thus forward, from here forward? Those are the questions that we need to ask. I mean, really, we can be our own psychiatrists and analyze ourselves. We don't need someone else to do it. We just need to learn how to do it. And when we do it, we need to learn how to be honest with ourselves enough to say, Yes, that pained me. Yes, that hurt. Yes, I was wrong. Yes, that person was wrong. And this is why I feel that they were wrong. Can we disagree? Yes, maybe. Maybe they felt like they were right. And we have to learn how to do that for ourselves. A lot of things that we get into, a lot of situations, we can avoid the pain of it if we analyze the situation before we get into it. Some things are totally out of our control. Some things. But those things that are not, we need to start analyzing first every situation in our life before we actually get into it. So we can kind of say, if I do this, then that's going to happen. If I do that, then that's going to happen. Maybe I shouldn't do that because I don't want that. We can save ourselves a lot of heartache and pain. We don't want to be stuck in pain. I mean, at this stage in our life, we've already endured enough pain from the past. We don't want to move forward and start adding on more pain, new pain to what we already have. What we want to start doing is shedding that pain. Those things that are easy to come to grips with, that are easy to let go. No, well, I shouldn't even say easy, that we find it not as complicated, not as complicated, and we can let go of it. We should start with those things first. Those things that are much more complicated, that really, take hold of our mind, a stronghold on our mind more than a lot others. Those things we should say to we can think about them and start trying to analyze them, but they will take much longer because the deeper the pain, honestly, the longer it takes to really rid yourself of it. See, pain didn't just come overnight and it's not going to disappear overnight. It's a course of time in which it will relieve itself, in which it will release you. So we have to take ourselves out of ourselves and be our own therapist, be our own hands of healing, be our own confidants, be our own, help ourselves. A lot of times we don't want to help ourselves first, and it's important to help ourselves first. Very important. Do not allow pain to consume you so much so that it devours you and destroys everything that you've built up thus far. MJK.